Greetings, Thompson School District. My name is Mark Schaefer, and I'm your proud superintendent. And today I am on location at our newest Pre-K-8 here at Conrad Middle School. Today I'll be joined by Chief Operations Officer Todd Piccone, and we will tour this facility and you will see the exciting work and renovations that are taking place as we combine 3 of our schools into our newest Pre-K-8. So come join us, and I think you're going to learn quite a bit. Well, hello, I'm here with Chief Operation Officer Todd Piccone. And Todd, I'm going to have you introduce yourself to our audience.
Great. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me here today. Yeah, so I'm Todd Piccone, Chief Operations Officer for the Thompson School District. A lot of what I do is obviously school construction, bond work, safety, security, facilities, transportation, athletics activities, and a whole gamut of what it takes to support students and staff here.
Well, Todd, today we're at Conrad Middle School, but it's soon to be Conrad Pre-K-8. So can you talk to us a little bit about the consolidation? I know we're consolidating 2 of our elementaries and blending it and really creating a new school. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the process started 2+ years ago. Community meetings to really gather input on what this building could look like. The exciting thing is we have 3 great schools that are moving into one amazing facility. So it was a combination of community input, understanding why we're consolidating, and then taking bond dollars that we have and putting it and investing it here for the community. So the bond dollars we have are a combination of obviously bond dollars that were here. We got BEST grants of over $5 million. So that's money the taxpayers that is not an impact to the taxpayers, but it's a true impact to the facility here. So, you know, a process that takes 2+ years. The construction is about 1 year of it. And overall, we're investing right at about $21 million into this facility here.
So the schools were Mary Blair Elementary and Monroe Elementary. And can you maybe talk a little bit about why those 2 particular schools, other than geography and its proximity to Conrad, but why did we select those schools?
Yeah, thanks. So when you look at Mary Blair, Monroe, and Conball, and you look at the enrollment trends over the past, in general, the global enrollment trends for the 3 schools have declined. So really, when we look at the consolidation, the Mary Blair and Monroe communities had that decline. So it was a solution to keep the communities together in a school, but because of the low enrollment of under 50 and 40%, that was part of this decision matrix then to have the consolidation here.
Gotcha. And I know Conrad is the star of our show today, and we're going to be talking more about the facility. But what is the disposition of the other 2 buildings? What are we doing with both Mary Blair and Monroe?
Yeah, so it's exciting. Mary Blair is actually turning into a YMCA community center. So YMCA will be looking at taking that over here in the next 1.5 years. Creating a really community hub for this community as well. So a place for kids to go work out, extra resources for the entire community. Monroe Elementary, we're looking at selling. So it is actually under contract, listed on the market, and that'll be sold by the district's real estate companies.
Gotcha, thank you.
Yeah.
So the conversion of a traditional middle school into Pre-K-8 has a lot of moving pieces, I would imagine. So what does it take, to transform a building such as Conrad into a Pre-K-8?
So I would say 2 pieces. One, it takes community input because it's can create some question about how this happens. So it's first listening to the community and how do they want to do it. Do we want a consolidation that's K-8 to where everyone integrates, or do we want to keep a school, kind of a couple of schools within a school, so meaning the elementary's here, the middle school's here. What does that integration of student looks like? So really it's first understanding what the community's goals are, and then it's taking that and putting it into a design. And then the design, let the community really inform the design, and then from there the design really evolves into what we'll see today in the construction.
So again, high level, as we look at the footprint of the school, what are the major transformations taking place within the building?
Yeah, so I would say probably the most popular right now is the air conditioning. So we're moving from a building that did not have AC that now does. So the students and staff are really excited about that. The other piece is a classroom addition and just really the overall upgrade of the aesthetics to the building. So we're doing a classroom addition, adding pre-K to the building, putting more of an auxiliary gym on. So there's a lot of pieces everywhere. They're really going to transform the school into a different facility.
So it's functionally a 2-year construction project. Talk to us about, we've actually finished year 1, and then we're now into year 2. So how did that break down in terms of phasing?
Yeah, so our plan was one, keep the safety of kids in front. So summer 1 was really the air conditioning, getting all that, I'll say the demolition done, the AC installed, and kind of temporary put back together. During the school year, we're working in the school alongside kids, but we worked with the community, the teachers, staff, admin, to really have a way we can keep the progress going, but students still in the building. Because with this much work happening this short of time, we've got to keep the progress going. So this school year is really about what can we do when the kids are here to not impact their environment. And then next summer is the final push. It's kind of tying the bow and everything, but there's a lot to tie on. There's a lot of finishes to do, the exterior addition as far as the library. That's really going to complete into next summer.
You talked earlier about the funding, like how we are paying for this. Can you maybe give a little more detail about that?
Yeah, so the exciting part is we were awarded a grant, as I mentioned, about $5.5 million from BEST. So it's that money comes from building excellent schools today. So it's funded from partially marijuana tax and takes some other state income. So we had some original bond funds that the voters voted for. We have that BEST grant. And then we have other assets within the district that we have been able to leverage to invest more here. So for example, we sold some water shares that the building or district had excess, so we invested that here. So it was a combination of several different pots, I'll say, to put together to create this investment here.
So Todd, I would imagine that our viewers really want to take a look on the inside of the building and maybe look at some of the features. So would you like to take a walk along the building and inside and take a look inside?
Let's do it. That's the fun stuff.
All right, let's take a look. So Todd, we are standing outside the old front entrance, which will become the new front entrance of Conrad Ball Pre-K-8. What's going on out here? What's some of the work that's being done?
Yeah, Mark, so this is exciting. This is real, you'll see the impact of the construction. So behind me here to the right, it's actually going to be addition for the new library. So it is really a glass box. So that's what you'll see behind me to the right is a true impact to the change in the front of the building. We're moving the library from the inside of the building to the outside. The other piece, which I would say is most important, as the new entry is coming down here, is going to be a new safety vestibule, secure vestibule. So the piece about that is we have standards throughout the district that really help us guide what that looks like, looking at national standards. And so right here is where you'll see the safety vestibule. And then back behind you is the classroom addition. So that's where we'll have pre-K and kindergarten. And really the focus there was to provide a place for the younger grades to have a place to go. So they're gonna have kind of their own little wing in front, which includes new playground equipment for pre-K, elementary, which is gonna be south of here. And then we'll have the middle schoolers, kind of their recess area in the back of the school. So there's some separation between the different grades. But really, when you pull up to Conrad Ball now, the exciting thing is this is going to be a change. You're going to pull up and see a new building. So this is the first part you'll see that'll be the wow behind what the community will see and have for generations.
It's really exciting. And I noticed that there's a bus lane here, and I would imagine that traffic patterns and bus traffic patterns might be impacted. Can you talk a little bit about what that's looking like?
Yeah, so as we developed the design, obviously working with transportation, both our staff, city staff, admin, how do we want the building to function? Was part of the look of the input of the design. So when we end this, when I say end this, when we finish the project, the pickup drop-off are going to be very similar as they were before, to where we're going to have the bus lane and parents in separate locations. Bus lane will actually move to the south side. And then this will be the parent drop-off at the front of the building. And there'll be a drop-off specific for pre-K. So the function of the building is actually going back to how it was originally, but it's exciting because that input was created by the different departments and then parents, helping us understand how the school functions.
That sounds great. I'd love to see more. Let's keep going.
Let's go.
So Todd, it looks like we're in an excavation area here. Can you tell us where we are and what's going on?
Yes, if you can imagine, just 6-8 months ago, this was the office for the building. So now there is no more office. And this is going to be the new part of the new admin suite that is part of the design. So if the audience can remember before, this used to be where that wall is now, a entrance into the admin. Now it's obviously torn up for new plumbing, new restrooms, which will eventually be the new admin suite that connects to the secure vestibule. So, yeah, this is part of the work we do while the student's in place. This construction here is part of what helps us maintain the schedule to then finish on time.
So you brought up an interesting point because it's a school day today. There's kids classes in session and what have you, but at the same time we have construction actively taking place. So how do we? What does that balance look like?
It's a partnership. So the contractor works with admin. We understand test schedules. So when is the important test schedules? When do we need to be quiet? When do we not work during the day to maybe work at night to not impact the education atmosphere? Yeah, because literally behind that wall, kids are learning and going about their day. So the exciting thing about the partnership and communication with not only the school, the contractor, the TSD team, is it creates an atmosphere that we're here, but we're also just part of the community. And that's what really helps make this happen is together, everyone's into it for the finish in the end here this summer.
That's great. I'd love to see some more.
All right.
Todd, earlier I talked about, converting the school from a middle school footprint into an elementary or pre-K-8. We are in a old science room, or maybe science rooms. And so talk to us a little bit about the conversion or the construction process to take a middle school science classroom and make it into an elementary space.
Yeah, so part of what the community wanted is to have the elementary kids together. So in doing that, you saw the addition up front, which where pre-K will be. This is the lower grades as well, so this will be in the 2 to 3, 4, 5 grades. So yeah, this used to be the middle school science room. So now you'll see they're converting it, and in the end, it'll be an elementary classroom. So part of the goal and strive behind making this conversion was to really reconfigure the space. And the exciting part is, in the end, you won't recognize this as a middle school science room, but now it's going to be a place for young kids to be taught.
One of the things that I know we've been talking a lot about the interior structure and the construction that's taking place. Can you talk a little bit about furniture and something we call FF&E, and maybe explain what that means and what that takes to convert a building such as this?
Yeah, so the fixtures, furniture, and equipment. So we're also working with a team that is designing what the inside is going to look like. So not just the paint, the walls, the floor, but then also how are we going to outfit it? In a collaborative way. You want kids now to engage. So we have a designer that's helping design the inside of the building, furniture and equipment. So we're going through a process with staff, with students to get student engagement on what type of furniture they want to have in their space. So in the end, it'll be a fresh space with new furniture as well, so they can have that collaboration, that opportunity.
You mentioned that students had some input around the furniture, but earlier you talked about the stakeholder engagement, and I know students also played a very key role as key stakeholders. Can you talk to us about what involvement our students, our kids had in terms of the planning of this building?
Yeah, so this is their building. I mean, this is where kids go. So from the start, the student voice was what we needed. So between the students we had on the design advisory group, we had other students come in to give input. We brought drawings to the elementaries to say, what do you think and how does this feel? And talk through the kids about, here's the space and here's what it's going to be and what do you like, what do you don't like. In the end, adults think they know what they want, but in the end, kids know what feels right to them in a space that they can learn and thrive in.
So Todd, as we wrap up this segment of On Location, what else do you want to tell us? Any other closing thoughts?
Yeah, and really like to say, Mark, one, thanks for doing this today, but really to the TSD community. One, the community that helped make this consolidation happen for the 3 communities coming together, but 2, our bond voters to really invest in our kids and our students, to show how an impact of a bond can help students succeed and create an environment that they can thrive. That's really the thank you for today, and the message I'd like to leave on is the thank you to our community for what they did to help our students.
Well, Todd, thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to visit with us. And thank you to our viewers. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about our consolidation of Conrad Ball, and we are very, very excited. So until next time, thanks for joining me on Location.